Good day and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. In this video we're going to take a look at a 5-minute guide to tier 8 of the Earthcrawl Mines. Now the Earthcrawl Mines is a delve that you can tackle in the Isles of Dawn. The location is here, 3873. My character is 605 gear. I started running this at about 589. I have a 2-set bonus. I did not in the beginning. But it's important to see what I've got so that you can compare yourself. I will say probably about 580s you should be fine to take on this one. It is fairly simple. In terms of the actual build for Brann and anything else, nothing too crazy that you can bring here. Obviously just your tonics, your potions, your buffs. Brann, generally speaking for me, I ran Amphorius Relic. He was around level 30 when I did this, so yeah. A big factor here is your flamethrower. This consists of 3 parts, the first one being clearing web with flamethrower, which is fairly simple. Trash mobs that you can face are very much the same. Event 2 will be a arena, so basically you'll have waves spawn in this one section, and then you'll have the third section, which is a tunneled hallway. This is the hardest section where you have to free some webbed lamp lighters. Of course, there are webs around the map, so be aware of those. Don't stand in them, they slow you, and after a while they will spawn enemies. An important thing to remember here is your flamethrower. You will come across quite a few mobs that create webs, so try and deal with that. Now in this initial section you only really deal with 3 main mobs who will be present throughout the dungeon. Skittering intruders, okay, and ankle biters, which are the very small mobs that don't do much. Then you have chittering fearmongers. These ones you just have to avoid the fear. And then the Nerubian web spinners, who will create webs and do web bolt. Interrupt web bolt and then use flamethrower when you see them casting webs. Before you begin phase 2, walk around and collect as many treasures as possible, because you might level up your Brann or you might find a boon that will help you with the rest of the dungeon. Phase 2 is pretty straightforward. Here you'll face a couple different mobs. So here you will face Nerubian thread monsters, which will appear. You will also continue to face the skitterers. Interrupt the Nerubian thread monsters as they cast web bolt. You will also again face a Nerubian web slinger, or web spinner, sorry, which is probably one of the top 3 dangerous units that you're going to face throughout this dungeon. Once that's completed, you then begin the most difficult section, which is the hallway section. It starts up by this bridge. Remember, if you're facing any units that are under Zekfir's boon, try to make sure that basically you have, of course, your cooldowns ready. Now, in this section, you will face Nerubian Threadmasters, who you want to obviously interrupt. You will face Nerubian Slashers, who will do a jagged slash. You can avoid this, it will apply a bleed to you. It's not too bad in terms of damage. For a DPS, it may be a bit more, so you can hard stun them if you want to. You will obviously take on skittering charges, who will of course charge you. So we have the fearmongers from before, but now we have skittering charges who will charge. They have a little kind of cast bar underneath them that will indicate when they are going to charge. You then have Nerubian Darkcasters, who cast Dark Shadows of Strife and Shadow Bolt. Now the big thing to be aware of with Darkcasters is interrupt the Shadow Bolt, but be aware of your positioning. If they manage to get off Shadows of Strife, they've lost you backwards. So it's very important that you are aware of your position towards them. The only thing I can really suggest for this section of the causeway is to take it slowly. There's a lot of packs of mobs that can very easily run into each other. Take it slowly, use a taunt or a ranged ability if you're a DPS or a healer or whichever the situation is, to pull the units away and back down the area you've cleared. That's going to make your life way easier. Nerubian captains try to interrupt the Aegis shield, but don't worry about it too much unless they are in a big pack of mobs. It is quite irritating because it does boost the health, and especially there's this one pack that I'm going to show you now. In the last segment, there's like a huge pack of mobs. You want to make sure that you stun these guys, but you actually really want to wait for them to move off of each other and try and pull half the pack off with like a ranged ability. For the boss, Web General Abenar, he's actually pretty simple. don't worry about web bolts. A lot of people make the mistake of interrupting web bolts. Interrupt Curse of Agony as your priority, and then you can interrupt web bolt. He always opens with Curse of Agony, so you can always interrupt immediately, and then after he casts Runic Shackle, he will always cast Curse of Agony. If you have spare silence or anything, you can use it on web bolt. The cart that he throws at you is actually very easy to avoid. Just sit on the middle of the tracks or to the side of each one and run along the tracks using a mobility ability to get out of the way. The webs will slow you down, or you can just jump into the webs and use your flamethrower to clear. But that's it from me. Pretty simple. I hope this has helped, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, take care, stay safe, and bye.